Happy New Year, Cardinals fans. It's 2026, and Andrew and I are here today to break down some New Year's predictions for the Cardinals in 2026. Sounds like we'll have some off-season, some regular season, and maybe even some next off-season predictions. We're just going all across the game, but what do
How
we
about
see for the Cardinals?
postseason?
Postseason? Maybe. Probably not. We're going all across the world today, all across the and whatever. It's a new year. We're gonna look ahead to the future. What do we see the Cardinals doing in 2026? Andrew and I have some predictions we want to share with you all today on this episode of Deal on the Cards. Welcome into Deal on the Cards, Josh and Andrew. As always, we do not have Sandy today, but maybe he'll pop in later. We'll see and have some unhinged predictions. Like it hit last year at times. Oh man. We're presented by 314 Sports Cards and Collectibles, and we'll let you know more about them later. Happy New Year to everyone tuning in live. And if you're listening to this later, hope you're having a great start to your new year. Andrew, excited to do some predictions with you today. Last year, you had a pretty good New Year's prediction, so we'll give you some flowers on that, I'm sure, at some point in this episode. I am excited about this. I was jotting some of these down the other day. I do these yearly, and I haven't posted yet over on Redbird Rants yet, but yearly I've done these like kind of 10 predictions for the new year. I try to be pretty aggressive with them because that's fun, right? Like we can all predict like, oh, Mason wouldn't win a Gold Glove, and it's like, okay, that's it's a prediction. It's not necessarily bold at this point. And this isn't a bold predictions episode necessarily, but I think we are trying to be a little bit kind of like, okay, let's put some our money where our mouth is with some of this. And so we'd love to hear your guys' predictions throughout the episode as you have them. And who knows, maybe Brendan Donovan get traded while we're on live. We'll have to change subjects because that's already happened once this offseason. We'll see if we have a Brendan Donovan prediction in here. I don't know. Happy New Year, Redbird Farmhands. Happy New Year, Enrico, anyone else in the chat. We'd love to hear from you guys. Also, we did this a couple streams ago, and then we'll jump in, I promise. We did some like goals, and I ripped a pack on stream for opening day tickets for someone. So if we get this, what do you say the number is, Andrew? How many likes do we need to have on live?
Let's get to 50. Let's get to 50.
50? Okay. We don't even have 50 in here yet. But if we get 50, maybe we'll drop it as the episode goes down. I don't know. But if we get to 50 likes, here's how I did last time. If I let people spam in the chat any player in the league, and if they end up being in this pack, I buy you opening day tickets.
Or Livy Dunn.
Yeah, that's true. This pack has interesting people in it that are not baseball. So hit the like button, get us up as we're going through. Share this with people as you know. If people are just chilling on New Year's Day and you want to potentially get some opening day tickets. And hey, I might do multiple of these, especially if we get to 50. It'd be fun on live stream. So anyways, Andrew, some predictions for the 2026 season. I'm that guy that takes about a month to stop saying the old year. So I almost said 2025 there. 2026 is going to be a very new year for the Cardinals. Obviously, we got new leadership under Chaim Bloom, and the new front office has been brought in from last offseason into this offseason as well, with some changes they made on the scouting side of things. Andrew, I'll go ahead and just shoot from the hip with my first one, and this is one I actually think is pretty fun. I think it's bold, but because it's contingent on a lot of different things, but I think I'm going to go with it. So Andrew, my first prediction for the new year, the Cardinals in 2026, is that in 2026, the Cardinals will have 10 starting pitchers make 5 or more starts for them. Now, that's kind of a weird prediction, but it's very different because last few seasons, right, we've seen them roll with pretty much the same 5 or 6 man group the whole year because they haven't had injuries and they relied on that veteran rotation. You enter into spring training this year and you've got Dustin May, Michael McGreevy, Hunter Dobbins, Richard Fitz, Kyle Leahy, Matthew Liberatore. I think I missed some names in there. So that's like 5 or 6 guys right there. And then you've got like the Quinn Matthews of the world. Maybe I don't think Liam Doyle will make 5 starts on this year, so that's probably not going to happen. But you got Bryson Motts, Eshawn Henderson, Sem Robersa, Andre Palante are names I didn't even say in there. I think they might add another veteran starter this offseason. Even if Dustin May is healthy and makes a lot of starts for them, he's probably traded at the deadline, which opens up a rotation spot. I do think they'll actually have injuries this year, not because I want that to happen, but just because that tends to happen in this league. The Cardinals had 10 or more starters make 5 or more starts in 2023, 2022, 2021, and actually not 2020. This is a shortened season. And last year, I think only 6 teams in baseball had 5 or more starters, or 10 or more starters make 5 starts. It was the Astros, the A's, the Dodgers, the Marlins, the Rockies, and the White Sox. So usually it's bad teams that don't have enough pitching, or it's good or just teams that experience a lot of injuries, right? And so I do think the Cardinals are a team that could filter through a lot of rotation arms this year, especially because they would like to see a lot of these guys. And I think a lot of them are, especially when you're talking about a lot of those guys aren't necessarily high upside guys. So I think they're going to give them opportunity to see who sticks as rotation depth, who sticks in the back end of the rotation, who's a bullpen arm. I like the idea of seeing 10 or more starters make 5 or more starts this year. Now, I don't necessarily like it in terms of I want to see it, because it probably means there's some injuries in there. And I mean, I don't want Michael McGreevy to have a long-term injury or Dustin May to get hurt in his 3rd start, but that's just baseball. So real quick, Neilio, thank you for the super chat there, $20. Happy New Year, Josh and Andrew. Go Redbirds. Happy New Year to you as well. Really appreciate that. And again, if we get up to 50 likes during the stream, potentially give away open-ended tickets if you guess the player in the pack. But Andrew, what do you think of my prediction that 10 or more starters make 5+ starts for the Cardinals in 2026?
I mean, I don't even know if I can name 10 starters off the top of my head. I certainly won't try to make any names up. But
that's good. Yikes, that's good. Okay, so Dustin May, Liberatore, Michael McGreevy, Andre Palante, Richard Fitz, Hunter Dobbins, Gordon Graceffo, Kyle Leahy, Quinn Matthews, Tink Hence, I guess, Sem Robersa, Ashawn Henderson, Bryson Motts. That's 12-ish right there. And again, I think they'll add a free agent. They could add other guys. If they trade Brendan Donovan, they probably get an arm or two that potentially could fit into there. So that's just names right there.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's aggressive.
I feel like 5 or more starts is a lot. Maybe 3 or more starts. I would say that might be closer, because that's if 5 pitchers make, or 5 or more starts, 10 pitchers. That's 50 games. That's almost a third of the schedule. And you're going to definitely have guys that go pole to pole, right? Surely one, I'm going to say that, and then
maybe 2.
They're all going to get hurt.
Yeah.
But
and I will say that's not counting openers for me, so I'm not going to count. Well, they're not going to have an opener make 5 starts, but I mean, this is a new regime, though. They could.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's definitely aggressive. I'm not sure. I feel like you could see a lot of turnover at the start of the season, where let's say, somebody gets hurt, and then you call up on the next guy from AAA, but you might have guys stick. You might have Quinn Matthews stick in the rotation at some point. Later in the season, he'll just take that spot for the rest of the year, right? But you could also come into spring training and Palante is in the rotation and he's just terrible again, and you gotta move him to the bullpen or send him down or something at some point during the season. And that could happen a lot. But guys like Graceffo, I feel like there were some names in there that I think are more bullpen type guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many guys would have to get hurt for Graceffo to get a chance. But Palante, I would probably put Palante above him, and then some of the newer guys, and even Quinn Matthews, I would probably give a chance to start before I would do Graceffo, because I think he has more of that bullpen type stuff, and we've seen struggles with his velocity when he pitches more than 2 or 3 innings. So I'd be interested to see. I think they will probably add another veteran starter. That is Miles Michaelis, but not Miles Michaelis. So, or maybe it is Miles Michaelis. That would be something.
I don't think it will be, but we'll see.
I hope
we'll
not,
see.
But I'm sure that's still on the table. And then, there's just so many options with where they could go with this rotation. I'm sure we'll do an entire episode on that at some point.
For sure.
But yeah.
Again, this is aggressive prediction. There were 4 or 5 teams, maybe 6 in baseball last year that almost had it. Had 9 guys do it. So it's a third of the league typically does it. The Cardinals did it, I think 2022, 2023, and in 2021. 2024 they had 8 guys even in that year. Now last year they had 6 or 7 guys. So I don't know. But anyways, that's 6, 7. Should I?
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna.
Kids are gonna be so disappointed in me for not making a 6-7 joke.
We just need. I feel like that's one of my New Year's resolutions for us is we need more audio board stuff. I think those kind of things are fun when we get fun little.
But just not 6-7, man. I don't know.
Then help me find some other ones.
Okay, well.
So, what's a prediction you've got for 2026?
I think the Cardinals might actually I don't know. Should I start the new year by saying something that might just be like terrible? Like I think they're going to
I
be
mean,
closer to.
a few of mine are not like. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not like all happy predictions here.
No. Like it's like maybe too off brand for me to go and say something that like
Whoa.
the Cardinals might be a little bit better than we thought.
Oh, go for
I
it.
don't think
I
they're
want
going
to
to make
hear it.
playoffs, but I don't think I think I see a lot out there of like the Cardinals are going to lose 100 games. They're going to be last in the division and things like that. And that might be true, but I feel like so much went wrong for them in 2025. And I feel like with young players, especially, there's a lot of variance of where they could end up.
They want to hear it. They want to hear the aggressive predictions.
Yeah, I mean, still like you hear these things about like where the organization is at developmentally. And they're really improving on that side. Where is Jordan Walker like cooked? Maybe, probably, but if he takes a step forward and is even like a league average player, like combining his defense and offensive potential, like if he's like slightly above league average offensively and slightly below league average defensively, he could become a semi-productive player. Like he's not completely gone. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be like an all-star or anything, but that's still, I think, within the range of outcomes eventually. And I'm starting to question whether or not they will actually trade Brendan Donovan, because it seems like that's something that it has been floated around as maybe that's not as guaranteed as we thought. I think Arenado is going to be gone, but like that's not really an issue to me, because he hasn't really been that productive with with what we expect him to be and what you could get out of third base. You could see Nolan Gorman take a step forward. I really don't know how much I believe in that anymore, but it's still within the range of outcomes. And I feel like a lot of the Cardinals' young players kind of hit the floor with where they were last year, right? Like Lars Nootbaar played the full season, but he wasn't good. And I feel like that's not what we expected. If he had played a full season, I think we had expected like he would either get hurt or be good. And neither of those ended up happening. The only players I feel like that really hit their potential were like Alec Burleson and then like Brendan Donovan in the first half, but then he ended up getting hurt. I feel like a lot of things just did not go their way. And I feel like it has to, at some point, the luck will change. And the development of some of these younger guys, especially like JJ coming up, it could be really good, right? Like,
yeah,
JJ might be a major league ready bat already. And he could like, I know a lot of the prospects from that class like struggled out the gate, but like Jack Caglione has huge holes in his swing and everybody knew that. He has tremendous power, but like JJ doesn't really have that. Like he doesn't have, the tremendous power, but he has a really good hit tool and, he can actually put the ball in play and see what happens. And, could become a productive player from day one. And, I think the big loss of this offseason is Contreras offensively. And then the pitching side, I don't like the rotation, but I do think there is potential for one of these guys to end up being a lot better than we thought. You could see Liberatore take another step forward because he was really solid before. The second half he started to have some inconsistency. Like if he works on that, he could become a productive middle of the rotation kind of guy.
Yeah.
Maybe Dustin May stays away from salad and stays healthy the whole year, and like just is a lot better than we thought, right? Like I think there's definitely potential for a lot of these arms, and there's a lot bigger range of outcomes for what could happen. I don't really see this team making the playoffs. I don't really see them making a run, especially because I feel like the Central is getting a little bit tougher. I think the Cubs got worse. The Brewers, I don't really know what to think of the Brewers anymore. The Reds, I think, are improving, and so are the Pirates. But I do think that it could be a little bit. They could be a little bit more competitive than we thought. I don't think they'll be buyers at the deadline or anything, or try to even make a run. But I think there has to be some improvement with some of these young guys. I feel like there's too much like potential with some of these players that they're going to end up holding on to. Oh, like I didn't even talk about Ivan Herrera. Yeah, and if he catches 100+ games, then like that really changes the outlook of your lineup as well, because instead of Pedro Pages in there all the time, you have like two legit bats in there with your DH. I think they could be better. I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'll give you a win total just yet, but I think this team could be a little bit.
So I guess real quick. So never mind. You said like people are saying they lose 100 games. I think
even like 95 plus, right? Like that's
yeah.
So I could see them going like close to what they were last year.
For sure. I think that's in the range of outcomes. I think they could finish with a better record than last year. I wouldn't bet on it, especially if Brendan Donovan's gone. I think sure they could lose 100+ games because I think they just have so much variance as a young team. But I think I tend to agree with you that I think I think both takes can be true. So let me know what you think. I think yes, I think you're right. They will be better than the doom and gloom people are like, oh, they're 100+ losses, one of the worst team, like the worst team in baseball type of things. But I also think they're going to finish last in NL Central because I think the Pirates are much improved. And for as much as we're talking about the Cardinals rotation should be better next year, I think the Pirates rotation could be really good next year. Plus they added multiple bats to their lineup that they really need. I think Connor Griffin's going to be on the roster at some point and he's going to be a stud. So I think they're a third place team. I think the Pirates, best case scenario, could push for the playoffs. Like I legit think the Pirates are a team this year. We saw the Reds make the playoffs last year, and the Brewers and the Cubs. And so I'm not even down on the Cardinals as in, like most people have like, oh, they're gonna be terrible next year. I just think the NL Central is gonna be a lot more compact than it was the past few years. And I think the Cardinals could finish last, but not be a terrible team either. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, there's like definitely cases. I think the Rays finished last in the AL West or AL East last year. Is that right? Or the Orioles?
Or the Orioles, I think, ended up.
Well, the Orioles ended up being like really bad, but like there's definitely been divisions where like, the last place team doesn't end up like being that bad, right? Like,
yeah,
they might finish, like if
the Rays had 77 wins and the Orioles had 75.
Like if the Cardinals were in the AL Central or like in a division that was like really, really weak, like they could finish like third, second, maybe even. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. But yeah, I do think the NL Central is going to be a lot tighter this year, which is fine because it's a rebuild, something. Because Heim doesn't even want to use the rebuild anymore. But
he's never used the word, so that we got to be fair on that part. But actually, I think part of it makes sense though, because I think, like we've talked about on podcasts sometimes, when we've said rebuild, I think rebuild means different things for different people, and it puts connotations on what you're doing. And so I think if they're being honest, yeah, we're rebuilding. We're looking at this as a multiple year outlook, but we're not tearing it down to the studs either, like a lot of MLB rebuilds do. And so I think that's part of the reason they're afraid to use the word. Now, I think they could use the word and explain it, and then we could all just move through it. But, that's its own thing. So I do want to thank our presenting sponsor of the Deal on the Cards podcast. That's 314 Sports Cards Collectibles. They're located at 9640 All Boulevard in Olivet, open 10 to 5 Monday through Friday and 10 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. You can get packs, boxes, and single cards of local players stars around the league. Like I got this Allen and Ginter box there, and I'm going to rip a pack on stream for a chance for you to win opening day tickets if we get to 40 likes live on stream. Also, like Andrew's showing there, today is one of one day, January 1. And so I've got my one of one Shelby Miller auto rookie here, I believe, right? Or no, it's 2014 auto 2014. And he's got the chrome Eric Fetty rookie card there. So one of one day, you can find one of one cards at 314 Sports Cards Collectibles. The new Bowman rookie or prospect set's going to come out here soon, which will have JJ, Connor Griffin, Liam Doyle, like a lot of fun players in that. I think this is going to be a fun year to go chase cards as a Cardinals fan because there's a lot of prospects coming up. I'm guessing Rynel will be in that set. Like there's a lot of cards to go get. Check out 314 Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're the best to work with. We know many of you shop there already. If you go in there, and actually a few of you I know for the first time went there this past week over Christmas. So super fun. Let us know if you check them out. We really appreciate the support. I know they do as well, and they just do awesome stuff. And again, if we get the stream to 40 likes, I'll rip one or maybe two packs on stream. And if you guess one of the players in the pack, I'm going to give away opening day tickets. So let's get this stream up to 40 likes while we're live. I will give my next take. And speaking of young players, speaking of the future, I think it's bold. I think it's at least okay. It's not bold predictions anyways, but it's aggressive. I think JJ wins rookie of the year. If you go, I think Jeff Jones had it the other day. I don't know what betting outlet this was, but JJ was tied for third with Moises Bastrios. I can never say his last name from the Cubs. In the NL behind Nolan McLean of the Mets and Sal Stewart. I think JJ's the real deal. I think he's going to be the starting third baseman of the Cardinals in 2026. Like Nolan Gorman and Thomas DeJC split time at second base. I think JJ's legit. I don't know if he's going to be at the top of the lineup at the beginning of the year. I think he very well could be their leadoff guy. He could be their 2-hole hitter. I think he could be their 3-hole hitter. I think JJ's a stud, and I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year this year. I think Connor Griffin's the one thing that scares me. If the Pirates are very aggressive with him and put him in the opening day roster, I could totally see Connor Griffin be the winner. I mean, obviously, I could see Moises, I could see Nolan McLean, I could see Sal Stewart winning it as well. But in my opinion, I think JJ's going to be a stud this year. I think he'll be like a 800-ish OPS guy. Again, this is aggressive, right? Like if you're winning Rookie of the Year, it means you're going to have an awesome year. So I'm not going to predict him to have a 730 OPS. Like he's going to have a great year, like 30-plus doubles, 15 to 18 home runs, maybe even 40 double. I think he's going to be like a 380 on base guy. I just think he's going to be a stud. And I mean, we've seen everything in his profile, right? He hits the ball hard. He makes great decisions. One of the things Baseball America looked at, especially as he started to hit for more power in AAA, is one of the things he does really well and he started to do really well is he's always had really excellent swing decisions. But now what it seems like he's doing is he puts his A swing on pitches he knows he could do damage with, and then is willing to just kind of do what he can with the pitches they're trying to beat him with. And so, like, at times, remember we talked about this on the podcast at times, JJ would hit these home runs, and you look at the location of it, it's like, okay, he just clubbed off on an 88-mile-per-hour fastball or something like that. Or he just hit a hanging curveball. And it's like, so it's like, calm down a little bit. It's like, right, because we were calling him up today. And I think he could have been up in the second part of the season. I think he could have been. But the takeaway I have from that is JJ is going to be a guy who hits for a high average, but he's also going to do damage because whenever you do make a mistake against him, he has the awareness at the plate to go, oh, I'm going to put a good swing on this ball, or it's an 0-0 count, 1-0 count, 3-1 count. He's going to go for that double and home run, and when he doesn't have it, he's more than happy to smoke that ball to the opposite side of the field, right? To blooper into right field, put it up the middle, whatever it takes to get on base. He takes his walks well. He doesn't beat himself. I just think he's an excellent hitter. I don't know if he, like, from that 2024 draft class, obviously like Connor Griffin has the higher ceiling. There's other players in that draft who have higher ceilings. Nick Kurtz obviously was incredible this past year, but I think JJ is going to be one of the top players from that class and could end up being the top player, but probably at least one of the top players. And he's just going to be studying. I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. And then he's going to get the Cardinals a draft pick out of it, which is awesome because he'll be on the opening day roster.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think I was just looking at some of the Rookie of the Year candidates on like DraftKings or one of these betting sites.
Yeah.
I feel like there's definitely a good chance for him. He's probably got the most like prospect pedigree out of any of these guys on the list. Like Nolan McLean is the favorite right now, but like, he's a pitcher. He could like blow out his elbow.
Yeah. He also does. I think that going for him too, he's in New York. And I think having that market helps you as a prospect, but
yeah. But like, this is a guy that for forever has been like touted by prospect people. We just did our 314 ad read. Like, this is a guy people have been chasing in the prospecting world forever. So yeah, I could definitely see it. I think he definitely has more pedigree than any of the Cardinals prospects we've seen come up recently. Liam Doyle will make the All-Star team next year after he makes 3 starts. Just like Jacob Mizorowski. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited to see what JJ can do. Hopefully he puts up a great spring and is just on the opening day roster. I don't know if like that has been something that like we know is for sure going to happen. Like, I think there's a chance that he ends up in AAA to start the year, which I think would be a mistake because I think he should just be there and try to get that draft pick anyway. because
I would be shocked if he's in AAA. I think it means he had a bad spring.
Yeah, and like I don't even know. Like, will he? I hope, honestly, I hope he plays the World Baseball Classic so we can see him, in those high spot leverage spots in games that actually matter, and against some teams that you're not going to get to face guys like Yamamoto giving their best stuff in spring training, right? Like that's not going to happen, and I want to see what he looks like against major league pitching in real games. I don't know how many of the other teams he faces will have that, but like I know that I want to see him in those high pressure spots. So hopefully, the Korean national team wants him on, and the Cardinals are okay with that. But I do think that there is a chance that he's not on the opening day roster, which is fine. Like you can still win Rookie of the Year without being on the opening day roster, but I would like that draft pick too. I think that'd be really nice.
Yeah. All right, what you got?
Let's see. Which one do I want to go with? I think I want to say that the Cardinals retain. I'm going to say this, and we're gonna have to change the title of the stream in like 10 minutes. But
here we go.
I feel like the Cardinals will retain Brendan Donovan for the start of the season, because I don't think that there are teams that are necessarily going to be willing to pay that price for at least what the Cardinals are asking, right? I think Donovan is like really underrated amongst even some of the teams, and like right now there's really not that many suitors for him. And I know the Ketel Marte stuff is starting to kind of cool off a little bit, so maybe some of those teams end up wanting to trade for Donovan. But I think like we're kind of getting to a point where I feel like some of these markets are starting to cool off a little bit. I don't know what the Cardinals are asking on Brendan Donovan, but it seems like a lot of these teams are not necessarily even getting close to the asking price. The Mariners are offering a couple of their prospects, but like they're getting a little bit more aggressive for that. But from what it sounds like, but I don't think that they're necessarily gonna meet the Cardinals asking price. And I think Donovan is one of those guys that he's not a reliever. Like what you're gonna get out of him. So like if you keep him, unless he gets hurt, there's really not a lot of risk there.
Yeah.
And if you hold to the deadline, there's definitely going to be teams that are looking for any kind of offensive production, and you might end up getting more. I hope they extend him. I think that's a guy that you want to keep around. Hopefully we can do another charity event with him. That was fun. But I think the chance, at least where I'm at right now, I think it's turned into like a coin toss of whether or not the Cardinals will actually trade Brendan Donovan. And as I say that, they're going to trade him like tomorrow, and I'm going to look really dumb, but that's okay.
No, I think it's a fun prediction, right? I think at this point, I think all of us would agree that the odds that they keep him are now higher than they were before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know where you put the odds at. Either way, I still think he gets traded, but I'd love to see them keep him long term. I do think if you're not planning to keep him long term, obviously it's ideal to trade him right now. But I do think I disagree with people in saying the Cardinals have to trade him right now. The Cardinals don't have to do anything. They have the leverage here. He has 2 years of control. He is an awesome player. He has a ton of versatility. Yes, I mean, I think you're right. Like there aren't 20 plus teams probably negotiating them right now. But I do think there's quite a bit of suitors who fit still that would be interested. I still think Seattle. I think Boston. I think San Francisco. I think Kansas City. I think Cleveland. I think the Yankees. I think there's probably more teams. Houston probably still, even though I don't think it worked. Now, I think there's varying levels to would these deals actually happen. But I think there's plenty of teams that would still be interested in Brendan Donovan. I think a trade does happen, but the Cardinals don't have to do it. And I actually personally love that they're holding this line right now where they're like, here's what we want for him, and we're not budging. And if they had started to kind of budge from that earlier in the offseason, then I think they would have lost. Like, if they hold this line, teams can say all they want, they're not going to do it. But at some point, they're either not going to get Brendan Donovan, or they're going to have to go after. They're going to have to put their money where their mouth is and meet the Cardinals' asking price. And if Ketel Marte's off the market, and if Alex Bregman is going to cost as much money as he's going to, and Bo Bichette's not going to come cheap either, like, sure, you can go get Eugenio Suarez to play third base for you, or you can go after, I don't know who else, like Jazz. I mean, Jazz Chisholm's not going to, Yankees are going to give him up for nothing either. So I think at some point someone comes after Brendan Donovan and gives them the offer you want, but I totally think it's possible he's on the opening day roster. I want to ask you this because Redbird Farmhands put in here. I think it's a valid question. What happens if you're stuck with both Brendan Donovan and Arenado? So first, I mean, I guess for me,
I would put Donovan in the outfield, JJ at second, and then Gorman like as my first option off the bench and probably plays a lot for Arenado.
Yeah, I just don't see this happening though. I would be shocked if the Cardinals have both of them on the roster because I understand there's not a market for Arenado, but I would be shocked though if there's not a team out there that he would waive his no trade clause to that wouldn't take him at 10% of his salary or 15% of it. Like I totally think Heim's been like, we're not going to release him, but I don't think I don't think if they have to, they're opposed to eating literally 80%, 85%, 90% of this deal to get him out of here. Like, I think they've been very open all off season that it's better for both sides if he's somewhere else. That for his career to go chase winning and to play, and I'm honestly, he might not play wherever he goes.
I don't know if he's going to be chasing winning where he ends up going.
Well, I do think it's the Angels, but but at least at that point it's Southern California. You know, that's one thing. And I just think it's probably a Dexter Fowler situation again, if it has to be. And also, too, I think we're all getting antsy because it's taking forever. Same with Brendan Donovan. We're like, oh, okay, they're not going to trade him because there's still plenty of offseason. But also, like, the third base market hasn't moved. Like, Bregman's still on the board. Yohani Suarez is still on the board. I think Bo Bichette probably
is on the board. Like,
yeah. So I think once these things happen, if then there's no movement, then I get worried. But I do think the Cardinals are at some point going to be like, hey, we'll literally eat as much money as it takes, even if it means pretty much all of it. So he goes plays elsewhere. Because even if they only save 5% of his money, that's still 5% of the money they save. You have to pay him the money regardless, so save as much as you can, even if it means barely anything. So I think there'll be a team out there who ends up grabbing him. I cannot see a scenario where that happens. But
yeah, before we get into our last predictions, do you want I replaced Sandy with AI and I asked Grok for 3 predictions. Do you want some of these?
Let's do it. But I want to remind people real quick. I'm potentially giving away opening day tickets. If we get to 40 likes on the stream live, we're almost, I think 23 or something like that right now. So we got almost 60 people in here, so we can easily hit that if everyone just hits the like button like right now. So hit the like button, then we'll play a little game to see if we give away tickets. Or I'll also give this caveat: if you're like, I don't want opening day tickets, I'll give you the equivalent of it in something else. Okay, I will determine what the equivalent is. So whatever the like equivalent like financially is. But yes, please give me AI Sandy's predictions.
The first one is one that you already said, but it's actually even bolder. JJ Wetherholt will make the opening day roster and slash 300, 400, 500 or better and contend for NL Rookie of the Year honors and steal 20 plus bases.
You're having a 900 OPS. I love it. Let's do it. Come on. All right, Gronk. I always call it Gronk.
Matthew Liberatore will solidify himself as the rotation's ace, logging at least 180 innings with 15 wins and a sub 3.5 ERA.
Let's come back to that in a moment. Oh my gosh, that's a Greg Amsinger. Enrico's so right. These are Greg Amsinger predictions.
The last one, it's probably the craziest one, and it's cited redbirdrants.com as one of the sources.
So, great.
The Cardinals' youth-focused pitching staff will rank top 10 in MLB for starters ERA, driven
by what?
Driven by cost-controlled arms like Michael McGreevy, Richard Fitz, and Quinn Matthews, ending their multi-year cycle of over-relying on expensive veteran free agents and powering the team to 85-plus wins.
Okay, so they cited my article, but I did not say 85-plus wins or a top 10 ERA. They took that way further. I just said, hey, they're going to have a lot more young starters next year. That was it. I did not say how they do, but that's funny. All right, fun bold predictions. I'm going to give a bold prediction here that involves a name they said, and this is going to come out left field for everyone. All right, you ready for this? I'm predicting in the calendar year of 2026, so I don't know if it's during the season or if it's the next offseason. I am predicting that the Cardinals trade Matthew Liberatore.
What? Why?
Yeah, I know. I don't know where. So here's the thing. I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking your window, right? I'm thinking this is a team that's still about accumulating assets. I don't think that ends after this season. I'm looking at your team right now, and I'm looking at all the different arms you have. I'm looking at Matthew Liberatore as a guy who has 3 years of arbitration after this, so quite a bit of control. So they do not need to do this at all. I don't think Liberatore, personally, is a frontline starter. Maybe he gets there. I think he's more mid to back in the rotation starter. Those are valuable. They really are. But as they get more expensive, they're less valuable, right? Like I think a cost control version of that is. I think Liberatore is someone that if he especially is having a good year in 2026, you could turn around and trade for a prospect package because you're trading to a contender who is potentially getting a guy who's pitching like a number 2 or a number 3, or is a number 2 or number 3 or a number 4, but it's costing you next to no money. You've got 3 years of control left. Like that kind of arm gets you a haul if he's pitching well. Now, again, there are reasons to be like right now to be a little like, can he do it? Because he had the velocity concerns. He clearly hit a little bit of a wall as the year went on. He was way better in the first 15-ish starts of the year than he was the back end, 12 starts maybe. But I think he has a good first half. I think he's a good overall 2026 season. And I think whether it's at the deadline or it's in the offseason, the Cardinals sell high because you have all these other arms that are like mid to back of the rotation arms that are close to ready already. Like Ishan. Gosh, I'm blanking right now. Bryson Motts, Richard Fitz, Hunter Dobbins, Michael McGreevy, Andre Palante. Again, these are all different levels of players, but they're all options. Quinn Matthews. I think you have a lot of cost control arms, and they're probably going to add more through a Brendan Donovan trade. You would probably add more through a Matthew Liberatore trade. You might add something through a Dustin May trade. I think they have enough at the upper levels right now that if they wanted to cash in on a guy, they should do it. And I think, obviously, because you have 4 years of control after this, and Fangraphs might be a little weird out here. They say he has 4 arbitration years after, like he gets a 4th arb year. I don't know if that's correct, but if he doesn't, they either have team control through 2029 or 2028. I guess it's 2029. So again, they don't have to do it now, but earlier they do it, they potentially can get more for him. And I think the Cardinals are contenders by 2029, but then he's close to free agency at that point. And here's the big picture thing too. Matthew Liberatore, if he's a middle to back in the rotation starter, is not the kind of starter the Cardinals should be extending long term. He's the guy you let hit free agency and move on because you have young, cheap arms coming up to replace those guys. So when the Cardinals are contending, they might trade arms like this, but they probably need to hold them to build a contend. When they're not yet contenders yet, I think this is the kind of arm you flip for real value. And you chase more upside. You chase things that fit more of your timeline. So I think once Brendan Donovan gets traded, you look at the roster, there's not really a lot of guys you think are trade candidates, right? Like they're not trading Mason Winn probably, right? JJ's a guy you're building, right? You're probably not trading Von Herrera. Burleson maybe puts himself in that category at some point. Obviously, Newbar, we've talked about that, but Gorman's not going to get you anything. I think Libby's maybe that next guy who is like more towards the Brendan Donovan type where it's like, hey, good player. I think Brendan Donovan's a much better player than Matthew Liberatore, but as a guy that's like, hey, we don't not like this player, but we're trying to get assets for the future. So I think Matthew Liberatore gets traded this year.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense now that you say it. I don't know if they'll be that aggressive with him. And I'm sure I know Heim likes Liberatore because he drafted him with Tampa and there's all that stuff going on there. So maybe there's something that he hasn't tapped into yet. But I do think that could be an option. I would be open to that, especially if the Cardinals have, enough starters after the deadline to make something like that work. And it does seem like they're going to have a lot of chances to give guys opportunities down at AAA, guys who are already on the 40-man. But yeah, that would be an interesting move. I don't think the Cardinals of old would do anything like that. That's not a Mo type move, and I don't even know if it's a Heim type move. We haven't really seen too much of him doing anything like that yet. But I'm sure we're just getting started with him, so it's definitely possible.
All right, hit us with yours, man.
My last one is I think Ivan Herrera will start 90-ish games behind the plate, and I think he'll be an all-star in the National League as a catcher this year. I really believe that the Cardinals are going to go all in on that because I don't. Well, this is Ollie's last year, right, on his contract.
Unless there's rumors
Yeah.
they'll extend him this offseason.
Yeah, but I think Heim and Ollie have the kind of relationship where he's probably going to make it pretty clear to him early on that the results on the field are not what are the most important, right? Like it felt like at times last year Ollie was playing for his job, and he would start Pajes behind the plate because he was a better defender, and there were issues with the arm. But I think we're going to make it. He's going to make it clear that this is a developmental year. I think that's throughout the organization. I feel like last year with Mo and certain things like it was like very inconsistent throughout the organization what the team actually wanted to do. And I don't really see Pajes as that option really behind the plate. Pozo's not a great defender if he ends up getting runway with the Cardinals, and like Crooks, probably the most intriguing name out of those guys, and then like Bernal. But I would think that with what Jaime said about Herrera, like he will get the chance to end up catching a lot of games for the Cardinals. Probably be like him and Crooks getting most of the time behind the plate. Hopefully Pajes is just like kind of there, not really seeing too much time behind the plate, because I don't really think that he is the kind of player that they should be building around and really giving a lot of playing time to in a year like this. But I think also like offensively, like we've seen what Herrera can do when he's healthy. And if like MVP 1 and MVP 2 weren't both DHs, he might have made the All-Star team this year, right? Like that was a tough position for him to get recognized in. He wasn't a Silver Slugger candidate, even though he probably should have been. But if you look at the catchers throughout the National League, there's really not a lot of guys offensively that are better than Herrera. Will Smith maybe had a strong first half last year. But other than that, I don't really see a lot of names that I like more than Herrera, especially offensively. So I think All-Star team, if he ends up catching a lot of games, makes a lot of sense. DH, I don't know. The NLDH class is pretty tough with Ohtani and Schwarber, but if he ends up catching, I think he'll definitely make an All-Star team.
Love it. Yeah. Also, I'll drop it to 35. So if we get the 35 likes before the end of the stream, because we easily get that, I'll rip one more pack. I'm going to give one more prediction before you end, because I want to give something. I want to give another high-end player prediction. But I agree with you. I think Ivan is going to get a lot of time behind the plate. 90-ish, I think is aggressive. I think it's the high end. I would probably put it more in the 80s. We're splitting hairs there. I think he also will be an all-star this year. I think or at least will fight for it, especially if he's a catcher. I'm toying with the idea of him being like a top 10 MVP candidate. That's like an aggressive version of it, but I would say top 15 with that bat this year. Like I think he'll get votes, especially if he's catching a lot of games. Ivan, I mean, I think we've been really big fans of Ivan's bat. I know you guys know I've been a huge fan of his bat. I've been like, this dude could be a borderline superstar with that bat, especially as a catcher. DH is harder, corner outfield a little bit easier. I am curious to see long term what they do with him, because you do have Bernal coming, you do have Reinel coming. I don't know how much they view Reinel behind the plate or not. I think Heim's already spoken to this a little bit. I think they like the flexibility of potential. Heim said it recently, I think on KMOX, that you might potentially, I don't think he said it like this, but the way he talked about it was that Ivan has the ability to play the outfield. So I think he'll catch, he'll probably DH a lot, and maybe get some corner outfield starts if they have to. But I think you're right, though. I think they'll want to see how this works. I don't think they would. I really doubt Heim would open this can of worms again and give up on it quick. Especially 2026 is not a year where you're trying to compete. So, or at least that making the playoffs is not like the ultimate goal, right? Where it's like, sure, I mean, they're not going to not do it, or they're not going to not try. But I think they're going to prioritize things like this over it. And so, yeah, I think you're right that Ivan gets a lot of time there, and I think he'll be an all-star because of it. So So yeah, if we smash that likes button, we're so close actually. If we can a couple more likes here, get us 35. I'll rip a pack. If you guys guess who's in the pack, I'll give away open-ended tickets. I'll give one more prediction to give you guys some time to do it. Oh, we hit it. So I'll give my prediction real quick and then we'll do it. I'm gonna say Mason Winn puts up a 5 F4 season, which is pretty awesome, and wins his second Gold Glove. And I think he gets down ballot MVP votes because of that. I think Mason Winn is gonna have his like 3rd-year breakout. We saw the defense this past year was so good, and he was well below. I guess kind of well below league average hitter. He regressed at the plate this year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? I think he was a 104 WRC plus bat in 2024. He was down to a 91, but he took such a big step up offensively that he only was down 0.1 F4 last year. So I think he's like a 105, 110 bat this year, maybe even a little bit better, plus this good of defense at shortstop. And that's a 5-win player right there. I think Mason Winn's going to be awesome this year. Again, he gets to his 5 wins in a way that's not the same as a lot of other superstars, right, or stars do. So it won't be as like offensively driven and fun, but I think he steals more bases. I think he's back to being above average offensive player, if not like 15% above league average, but probably more 10% is like the high end, and then a platinum glove contender. I think that puts him in contention there. So as you're responding, I'm gonna give you guys 30 seconds. Name who you think's in this pack. If you get one of the players in the pack, it doesn't have to be a Cardinal, any player, then I will give away opening day tickets or the financial equivalent if you don't want the opening day tickets.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I like it a lot.
30 seconds starting now.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Mason Winn, probably the guy that you try to extend at any point during this year before, like, he ends up breaking out truly offensively, and then, we'll see how that goes. I think he should have won the platinum glove last year, but I think he needs to establish himself maybe more offensively, because Fernando Tatis ends up winning it, and he probably is like 4th or 5th on the list of guys that do it. But whatever. Yeah,
I'll give like 15 more seconds. You throw a player in there if you get it right. Also, hey, fun prediction here. Who was it from Mace Windu? I predict Deal in the Cards will exceed 5K subs this year with a bunch of renewed fan interest and young players.
Hopefully, that would be cool. Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe if you're not already. It'd be fun. All right, here we go. Ripping the pack. If you guessed one of the players in it, so Otani's the last vote from Andrew here. Watch me get Otani. I'm not giving you opening tickets, but I'll give someone else it.
Just give me the card,
All right, so we've got Bryan Cranston. I guess I have to do this to prove that I didn't. Ty Cobb. Oh, Cardinal. Who is it? I can't. Ozzy. That's fun. Oh, a tiny card in there.
Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber. Did someone say Schwarber?
I don't know.
Look. Who is that?
Robert Hassel.
And it's Alec Boehm, technically.
I don't think anyone said that.
Oh, no Kyle Schwarber this time. So, hey, fun guessing. We'll talk for a few more minutes here. If we get up to 45, then I'll do one more pack on stream. But someone said CJ Stroud, Uncle Ted. Oh, man, Elb. Sorry. Hey, this is a fun game, though. I like this. It's fun. If we get to 45 likes before we hop off here, then. But, yeah, I mean, should be a fun year for the Cardinal. It should be an interesting year, at least in Cardinal Land in 2026. I predict Sandy will be late to the podcast 9 out of 10 times.
Oh,
so.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Sandy, catching strays while I'm not here, or while he's not here. Oh, yeah. Man. Any other, I like this from Redbird Farmhands. Yeah, like throwing some predictions. You guys have them. I know we said it earlier, but Redbird Farmhands said 8 Cardinals make their MLB debut this year. That's fun.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think, I was listening to Walton and Reese. I think there's a chance, Kyle made a good point, that maybe we see Josh Baez toward the end of the year. If he's obviously, a lot of caveats, if he's playing well, if he's earned it. But especially with the potential lockout coming, the Cardinals might want to see players like that toward the end of the year. Especially since he's a guy that would need to be out of the 40 man, or he already was out of the 40 man. He's already on the 40 man, so you've already used an option here. So might as well bring him up and see what's going on. But Any other random predictions you were like just want to briefly touch on? 5 more likes, we'll hit
Coronado
45.
will end up on the Angels, but that's like the only team that he's been linked to this offseason, which I think is really funny.
Here we go.
Go Angels, I guess. I'll rep the Angels if on stream if they trade for Arenado. I will be very happy if they can take him off of our hands.
Yeah.
Because they want to pretend to win every year. What did they do? They signed someone else recently, who was kind of questionable. The Rendon stuff is really funny.
There's rumors unless it was the guy who just signed with the Astros, but there's rumors.
Oh, Imai. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okamoto.
Yeah, because
really
they're apparently.
Disneyland.
Yeah, so maybe he might go to the Angels. We're 3 likes away from 45. If we get the 45, I'll do one more pack for opening day tickets.
One of my favorite tweets of all time is if Disneyland is the happiest place on earth, what's the saddest place on earth? And someone replies right down the street at Angel Stadium.
That's so funny. Casas and Bello as Cardinals. I don't see it, but it's a fun prediction. Joseph says Ollie gets his extension at spring training. Hey, it's the big spring training extension that they like to do. It'll be Ollie again.
I will be so excited. I don't think you understand how excited I would be.
Newton Otto for Mike Trout. That'd be fun. Leahy, 120 plus innings with a 3.7 sub 3.75 ERA. Love it. Winquist will be a star for the Yankees.
Oh.
Chalwaski. Oh. Rock has hammy issues and drops to the Cardinals in the draft. That would be insane.
Not that far, but
I think his hammy issue would have to be he like doesn't have a hamstring anymore for him to fall to 13. I think it's like it tore off the bone and they can't find it. But all right, we're 1 like away from 45. One more person hits it, I'll open this pack. I'm gonna anticipate it. I think it's gonna happen. I trust you all. So I'm gonna give you 30 seconds here, starting. Let me get the clock. 30 seconds starting now. Throw some names in the chat. Gosh, dang it, Andrew. And if you guess he's in the pack, I'll give opening day tickets to you.
See, I won't even be here for opening day, so that's actually I can't even win. I'll just give it away.
Why are you spamming these? Oh man. We got a Yamamoto, we got Judge, we got Fetty, Tani Livy Dunn. Oh boy. Not as many guesses this time. But I'll give it a couple more seconds. But there's definitely some fun predictions in here so far. So I think Ollie gets an extension. I think it does happen.
I hope so. I really do.
All right. 5, 4, 3. I guess I'll let it hit a minute. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Skeens is last guess in here. All right. You guess player in the pack. There will be opening day tickets. These are harder because I feel like there's a lot of randoms. I'll put the Castellanos in there. I'll keep it in. So we've got Andres Jimenez. This Bishop guy. Don't know who that is.
Who that is.
Oh, so a little card fell out to pick that up. Colt Keith. Bill Mazeroski. Barry Zito. These are harder packs to do.
Yeah, these are
like randoms. So maybe I'll try to get and then
you get the top chrome update.
I'll get another set of that and then we'll roll with those. But all right, this has been fun. This has been fun predictions for 2026. Let us know yours in the comments. Let us know on social media. Again, if you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe. We love the support we've got on this podcast. Again, 2025 was really fun for us. I really think so. And I think 2026 is going to be a great year for the podcast and excited to bring more content. I think we're excited about maybe some new things to do this year and kind of expand what we're doing. And so look forward to letting you guys see what this journey looks like. Again, this aren't able to do this without all of your support. So really appreciate that. Make sure you go check out 314 Sports Cards and Collectibles and all the support they provide to our podcast. Again, like the stream if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you want more. Again, we go live multiple times a week over here. We got Birds on the Farm. I think we got some fun interviews coming up here soon. Happy New Year to you all. We really appreciate the support as always, and we will see you guys next time.
Thanks, Ollie.